Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Existentialist. This is OJ. The channel teaches videos on mental health, self-improvement, self-realization. In this series, In Conversation With, I have candid conversations with people who've dared to take a different path in helping other people and serving the greater good. Today, I have a very special, not a guest, but a very special friend, Kiran Gulrajani. Kiran is a coach that coaches other coaches as well as leaders. He's been in the field for over 25 years. He has his own unique brand of coaching, which involves the DAO, which involves co-creation and co-facilitation. I've personally known Kiran for over 3 years now, and we've had our own special, beautiful journey as well, with ups and downs and our relationship maturing over time. And Kiran does value those relationships so much. That's why I'm mentioning it as well. So happy to have you, Kiran. Welcome.
Yeah, and Ojas, I also want to say that it's been very precious knowing you, and each conversation is rich with, I'm just getting goosebumps as I say this, presence, reality, honesty, and a certain kind of, I would even say, care, affection, so I'm hesitating to use the word love, but I would use that, yeah. Yeah. Love is precious to my heart and most misunderstood,
Well, maybe you can talk about that later as we go along.
Yes. And therefore, I want this conversation, Ojas, to also be about us and about me. Of course, that's your intention. So let's hold that together, that, about my work, my life, but also sprinkled with, what has expressed in our relationship and journey.
Thanks, Kiran. And I look forward to seeing what unfolds.
Yeah, same.
So I would like to know, in your words, the essence of your life work, your heart song.
If I was to use just two words, or three, let's say, one word would be heart, the other would be together, and the third would be alone. There is an African saying that when you want to walk far, travel together. When you want to travel fast, walk alone. And I have discovered that if you want to travel at the speed of life, which is, in a way, the most beautiful speed, then one must learn to travel together alone. That paradox, that until I'm truly alone, all one, I cannot truly be together in a deep way.
That's amazing. Thanks, Kiran. This is the first time I'm hearing anything like this. And I think it's deeper than the words and something to reflect on as well.
Yeah. And I want to say this also, Ojas, that I have had a proclivity or inclination for being together. And as you know, most relationships end up being codependent relationships. And that's not really deeply together. It's like dependence and unhealthy dependence. And I have suffered from that. But as I emerge into clarity and into my own being, I see that a true dance can only happen between two beings, who are not leaning on each other excessively, but, dancing relationship is something different now.
I've heard many of these themes from you coming together in different forms, almost like dancing with each other.
Yeah.
It's always great to hear these fresh perspectives and insights. And yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
So, so what inspired you to to enter this journey of inspiring others, and
Mhm.
what continues to inspire you today and keep it fresh?
Yeah. It's a very good question. And the fact that you use the word inspire, which is a very dear and favorite word. For me, words are not just words, but they contain worlds, and some people are a little, uh, word has got a bad name, among some people, because often it's connected with intellectual. But really, when I say word, there is a world inside it. And if you're truly in touch with that, then you speak from a different place. So, what inspired me actually is this was 25 years back in 96, and I was 32. And I was a series of experiences. I was in a corporate job uh, uh, in sales and marketing, and I was put on the shop floor. I never wanted to go into the manufacturing. And I was reading autobiography of a yogi and Stephen Covey's Seven Habits. And I also participated in this program called the Life Program, which was held by Swami Sukhodhananda. So many things came together, and I discovered that there is a calling to explore human potential, that we are living such a small fraction of the life that we are given, and why and how. And so, it was just synchronous that I told my boss, and he told me about his cousin in Pune. And within weeks, I had shifted from Chennai to Pune to join Arun Waklu in Pragati Learning, where I was for 3 years, and it was my initiation into this field. I'll be always grateful. But he had a different vision, and we kind of parted. And then Eternal Learning was born with my then wife, Prativa. And yeah, so coming to what has inspired me and continues to inspire me is this immensity inside not just human beings, but what happens when beings come together. Like what is happening when you and I are coming together, right? Charles Eisenstein uses the word interbeing, so I call it together being. There is a chemistry, which is nothing short of a mystery. And to explore that is extremely invigorating for me.
Yeah, and and it sounds exciting to me as well. It's something that I would want to explore further as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So we touched upon this already, and I'm really curious to know, how does being from the heart come into coaching and leadership? So leading from the heart and togetherness, how does that play out?
Yeah, I think it's a very both a simple and a profound question. I find that if one is truly interested in being and living from the heart, then there is a certain sincerity and an honesty that by that very intent comes into interactions, right? However, the journey of being in the heart is never easy, because we are seduced by the mind. And all of life and our upbringing is convincing us to move away from the heart somehow. And I feel that a very key component, I often say that this is one thing in the human kingdom that creates wars between nations, wars and conflicts in families, in organizations, is our inability or to really meet feelings, navigate feelings, and emotional intelligence is now a big word, but I really want to speak of a deeper intelligence, which I would call heart intelligence. And so there is a feeling heart, normally feelings are connected with the heart, but I'm really inviting us to look at the being heart, because the feeling is the fractured domain, but the being, is so. So if we are really committed to being, to presence, right, then something starts opening up inside us, and inside conversations that can truly bring that to leadership, coaching, parenting, what have you, in organizations and in families. Yeah. And in my work, I have also discovered multiple ways in which we can come into the heart. And equally, it's important to see how we move away from the heart, right? Because both are, awareness of both helps us to reside in the heart.
That is indeed very profound.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling from the heart versus being from the heart.
Yeah.
And I just find it very fascinating how this inner shift can take the form of external being in the form of coaching or leadership, and it starts from something very fundamental and being related.
Yes. And you see, Ojas, I also want to bring in a third aspect, which is least talked about, which is that I can be in my heart alone, centered in my presence, and that will bring heart into the conversation, right? But there is something else about interbeing or dancing together. When both of us are in the being, state, then the universe opens up, I think it was Jesus Christ who said that when two of you are present together, I will also be there, and not to make it about Christianity but just like there is something else, call it grace, call it love, call it chemistry. The word is not important, but something vaster that is here always. That's why I've always been fascinated by a triad, like what comes together when three beings come in, which is why I've said, like, we must have the next conversation with one more person here.
Yeah.
And I know
yeah.
the person who I might like to bring first.
We will leave that as a surprise for the audience.
Yes.
So, Kiran, every time I speak to you, you're always embarking on a new journey. There is a freshness to everything you do. You're reinventing yourself, your practice, even the words and the terminology that you use. So today you mentioned that there is a new beginning that's happening. And then you mentioned to me about Heartistry together. So would you like to say something about that?
Well, Ojas, I actually have always, or at some point, I discovered that I have not been successful, in the world by the traditional measures and yardsticks, because I'm essentially an artist, and artists are not successful in our society by and large, not as a rule. I mean, there are exceptions, but ever since the industrial age, society started losing heart, and that's why it started losing art, and therefore artists, But so then I asked this question that, hey, what is my art? And I found that every art has a heart, right? No art is possible without the heart. But what is the art of the heart? Because I like to always go into the meta and see, and I said, perhaps what I'm attempting is to discover the art of the heart. And this word heartistry somehow appeared. And I must also thank my brother, friend, fellow traveler, Rohit here, because he brought to me the word artistry. And he and I had started something called Artistry of Awakening, which was led by him, and I was supporting him. And somehow, to me, the word heartistry struck, and it somehow has stayed. And of course, like I've been talking, there's a heartistry alone, but also together, which is the subtler, deeper, exploration.
Thank you so much for that explanation, Kiran.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to wrap up for today, and by no means is this going to be our last interaction. I'm sure there are going to be so many other interesting, exciting collaborations we're going to have.
Yes.
But I just want to wrap up today by asking you, how can somebody learn more about the various things you're offering? If they'd like to be a part of it, if they'd like to learn more, if they'd like to get in touch with you, and anything that you would like to leave the audience with as something to reflect on?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've said two questions. Let me answer in the sequence you asked. The first is, how can they come in touch with me? So, I want to say that, like it happens for many artists, we are rather disorganized. And for example, I do have a blog which people can go to. It's called coevolvewithkiran.com. I have a phone number, which they can reach, 98239-69473 +91 India. So yeah, and I'm very the way which is most easy for people, and I love to connect, is WhatsApp, and yeah, and then of course there is my community, intimate circle, which is now Krishna, Dilipan, Arjun, so we are working, and Ria, I see these four people somehow in the future working closely with me, Rohit perhaps. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is the way. And yeah, email, I mean, I actually don't want to give email. I have kind of, like we moved from handwritten letters to email. I feel some of us have moved from email to WhatsApp. So I have to rediscover friendliness, but I'm on Facebook. So that's another place people can connect with me also. Yeah. Not so much on LinkedIn yet, although I want to.
I just put you a LinkedIn connection request right now.
Okay. No wonder.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you for making yourself so available if somebody did want to reach out.
Yeah. And Ojas, also you had asked me one question. I don't know if there is time for that anything that I want to leave people with reflection.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I would like to leave people with this question that how alive is the heart in your life and relationships? And what is that which you must bring or do to bring the heart alive, because there is nothing more precious than bringing your heart alive more and more. And the whole distinction, which is a separate conversation between growing up and waking up, is an important placeholder in this exploration. Yeah.
That is so profound. I have nothing more to add. I'm actually going to reflect on this myself. Thank you so much for joining, Kiran. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed doing this, and thank you for making it easy for me that I could come as myself, and we could co-create this space together and speak so spontaneously from the heart. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And just one idea came to me just now. I want to say at the end, maybe you and me could do something, called co-existentialist, And I mean,
Okay.
in a lighter vein, but who knows, what is wanting to be born, because that could be a whole stream, if that inspires you.
Okay. Okay. Let's explore what it means to be co-existentialist. If
Yes.
any of you have an idea, any comments to do with our discussion, as well as what it means to be co-existentialist, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, joining, and see you in the next video. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.